Hey Leo, it's your spicy month of April. We've got the sun in the fire sign of Aries. You are the fire sign of Leo. So we've got a trine going on here with these fire planets. And there's a lot of planets in fire signs. We've got the sun, we've got Mercury, the planet of communication, we've got Venus. We've got the transiting North Node about purpose and what we came here to do, being ignited. So, lots of spicy energy for you, Leo, just the way you like it. Now, some of you Leos, some of you like early end Leos, like July Leos, you're going to have an opposition with Pluto going on. So, I would say it applies to all Leos because it's in the sign opposite to you, but it's going to affect the earlier degrees of Leo more. So, maybe up to the August date. So Pluto, the planet of transformation, change, rebirth, power, sex, deep emotion, and other people's money is opposite you. So both sides want something, right? Pluto wants you to make some big changes. And Leo, you like to show up big, you like to show up bright. So what needs to change? I doubt that you need to question this because I'm sure it's being shown to you. Okay, so pay attention to what's being shown to you. Now, some of you later degree Leos, the more Augusty ones, August maybe after the 5th, are going to be having some activity there, a square going on with some of the planets in Taurus, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, blessings, and Uranus. Wow, anything can happen planet. So there's a little bit of square there. So you're going to have to deal with some unexpected things. Let's envision them being great things that have to do with money. Maybe it'll be an unexpected check and hopefully not an unexpected bill. But just in case, maybe stash a little cash to be prepared. Okay, Leo, let's see what you need to know. We're going to jump into the tarot cards. Working with some of these beautiful decks here, I've got the Herb Crafter's Tarot, which is a favorite of mine, and the Green Witch, which I always love. And, it has a lot of Celtic vibes to it. It really reminds me of the celebration of Beltane, which I do have that oracle deck out here too. And Beltane is a celebration of the god and the goddess and the spring rites of passage and the spring it's a way to say mating season. Mating season, Beltane, fertility, prosperity, new season, and a lot of babies get made this time of year. So season of the witch, Beltane, along with the Green Witch, and then of course our classic beloved dead, which I'm a big fan of. Okay, so let's jump into the cards and see what you need to know here this month ahead, Leo. Okay, Leo, I'm using the chalice spread here today, the cup of satisfaction. Okay, so let's see what the month of April holds for you in regards to satisfaction and what it is that you need to pay attention to, what your cup is full of. Okay, so here's the stem of the cup, here's the handle, or I would call it the stem, right? All right, let's see what it is here. We've got the Four of Wands. Okay, this is from the Green Witch Tarot, and 4 is known as a pause number, also a foundation number, okay, that you're building something. And Wands is fire, like you, Leo, passion, fire, excitement, desire, new ideas. And here, I like how one cup is pouring, one pitcher is pouring into another cup. There's plenty here. There's all these apples and they've been resourceful and they've made cider. And so there's a sharing. There's something beautiful here. There's a partnership. And so I think the traditional Four of Wands often looks like somebody just left on their honeymoon. So here we go. We have a compatible partnership. Looks like there's some zest there. Maybe they're going to drink some hard cider, right? And so there's a lot of passion here. So not a bad thing to have you're forming your cup here, your cup of satisfaction. Let's see what else the cup is made up of. This is the Five of Wands. So you almost have a progression here from the 4 to the 5. 5 is a number of change. And we know you have a lot of change going on with Pluto opposite you, Leo. So 5 of passion, 5 of fire. And a lot of times the 5 of wands has a lot to do with like teamwork, working together. Interesting how both cards show other people, right? Compatibility. 5 of wands is often when teamwork turns into trouble. But it looks here like, they're taking control. They're directing the situation and they need to be in control. Someone needs to be in control. Okay? Because you can see the ants down here. They've been working on stealing some of that bread in that picnic basket. So you really need to pay attention to what's going on and make sure that everything's on the up and up. And it's almost like making sure no one's taking things when you're not looking. Okay. So that's part of the structure here, is paying attention and making the changes as needed. Let's see what else we've got here. Another 4. The 4 of air, lavender. Okay, so I think of a 4 a lot as a pause number. The classic example is 2020 equals number 4. Okay, pausing. And so also 4 is a foundation number. So you're kind of the act of finalizing something, making clear plans. Now, air is the mind, it's thought. And here's the sickle here that she's been cutting this lavender, this edible, medicinal, calming, beautiful flower. Okay. So there's some cuts that have had to be made here. Okay. So you may have a team here. There's some great parts about the team, but there may be some things that you're overlooking. You need to pay attention to. Where's the energy leaks? Okay. What cuts need to be made? Now, let's see what your cup is full of, okay? I have 2 cards here to start, and then we'll add some oracles. And we are starting off with the 10 of Athams. I think that's how it's pronounced. But that would traditionally be the 10 of Swords, okay? I love how these little wild boar family here is in the shadows. Not the most warm and fuzzy creatures. So they're there in the background, but she is paying attention to her pot that's brewing. Looks like she has 10 swords surrounding her, so she has protected herself, okay? Now, 10 of swords traditionally looks like somebody with 10 swords in their back, right? But this one, there's like this sense of protection so that you do not end up hurt. Okay, so it's a lot of like there's some feisty energy around you, but you are paying attention to what is yours. Along with the 6 of air, cattail. So pretty. 6 of swords, a number of moving forward. This one, they've got all these feathers in these jars, and there looks like there has been a lot of writing going on, a lot to say. Okay, so I kind of got here that you have a really good thing going here with this 4 of wands. It looks like you have a nice partnership, or maybe someone new has come into your life. Okay, there's some spice here, but don't get too distracted, because maybe you've fallen in love recently. Maybe you have a new relationship, but you need to pay attention to your team here. Okay, whether this be your employees or whether this just be your family or maybe some friends, there's some things that are not being observed here, and you need to pay attention to a little bit more to the details and make the cuts needed here with the 4 of air, lavender. There's a sense of protection and getting a little bit clear on what it is you want and getting back here to these documents of what was written. Okay, so maybe you had some plans, maybe you've been a little distracted from them. It's time to get back to it and paying attention to that. Let's see, I'm going to pull a couple more. I want a clarifier on this 4 of wands, if this is a new love. And I want a little bit more information on this 4 of wands, like the ants kind of taking off with your bread here. What's that about? Okay, let's see here. Down here, we've got the 10 of cups. And I was asking if there's new love, and it's showing me the happy family card, the 10 of cups. And it looks like these two, there's a lot of joy. There's a family being built. So maybe your relationship has progressed, or maybe you decided that you do want to start a family with somebody, but there's a lot of joy with the 10 of cups. But there could be a little bit of like being in the rainbows and the happy love vibes and missing some of the other stuff that's going on. And let's see what the clarifying card here was. You got the Death card, Marigold. Okay, Day of the Dead. And there's butterflies. So there's been some transformation going on. And this Death card represents Pluto, which is opposite your sign, right? So actually, the vibe I'm getting from this, we had that lunar eclipse just recently on the 25th of March, and it was the first lunar eclipse of this year. The last one that happened was on Halloween, or the Day of the Dead here, right? So 10/28 was that lunar eclipse, Day of the Dead, November 1st. So I'm getting some vibes from what was going on that lunar eclipse showing itself now about what needs to change, because lunar takes things away. And literally this ant's down here at the bottom here. Can you see that down there? They're taking off with the bread. Okay, so there's something that maybe there's some ending that needs to come in, or maybe there's something that needs to be said or written, or maybe there's a contract here, something that needs to change here because it's not working. It's just not working. So there's a need to protect. I love this Ten of Swords because it doesn't show you as a victim. It shows you as advocating for yourself and protecting yourself. Okay. So yes, there's a relationship here at the bottom, and maybe you just can't see clearly because Ten of Cups is often foggy. But I'm seeing a need to advocate for self, okay? I'm going to put an oracle card into your cup here from each of my oracles, and let's see what we're adding to your cup, what else you need to know right now. Oh, this is cool. This came up in the last pile, indulgence. You are worth every desire, every dream. Demand what is yours. Demand what you need. There's that full moon in the background, and I was already referencing that lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses come on full moons. And so I think there was something going on since October 28th that is also reflecting into March 25th. And there's a need for you to focus on yourself and what it is that you want and your desires, and not so much what this relationship wanted, along with active love as is. And she's just there in this meditative state, just being her beautiful self. And so you are wonderful as is. Okay. I don't know. Maybe this person thought you needed to make a lot of changes, but that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing self-acceptance, self-love, self-nurturing, and even into self-indulgence. Leo, you know about healthy selfish, so make sure you get back to that. I've got one more card here for you that's coming up, and it's the Justice card here from the Herb Crafters Tarot, and it's the Cannabis card, okay? So there's justice. And I don't know about you, but I really think it's long overdue that there's justice for cannabis. To me, I do not think anyone should have been in prison for any of this. As we know, the Constitution was written on hemp, and I am a firm believer that cannabis is a helpful plant to a lot of people who are suffering in ways that this medicinal plant can help with, whether that be inflammation. I think it's a great tool for people suffering from things like myself with PTSD, anxiety. It's been a great helper to me. And so I'm seeing this as advocating for what is long overdue. Okay. And cannabis has, a lot of bad rap with it. And we know a lot of it came from some of those public service announcements that were done, like that Reefer Madness movie that was actually I forget exactly, but I think it was like U.S. government produced to try to sway the idea of cannabis. So maybe you have been swayed about who you are. Maybe there's some contract involved, but you are a resourceful, maybe everyone doesn't accept all your decisions, but the time has come for you, just like the time has come for cannabis, for you to be praised, not to be condemned. That's what I'm getting. And this is card number 11, which would be a 2 in numerology. So this is showing that relationship again, okay? So let me just see anything else that Leo needs to know this month. I have the 5 of Pentacles telling me, don't worry about money. It'll all work out. And the Holy King, who is the Hermit. The Fool grown up, the Holy King, okay? You always find your way. And yeah, maybe you need to stash a little cash right now for unexpected things that may show up. But let's envision it showing up as unexpected checks and monies and wonderful things, okay? But never hurts to have a cash stash. 5 of Pentacles says you're long overdue for change about your mentality about money and your poor me attitude. It's over now. Step into your power, Leo, because you sure as heck have a lot of it. Let's roll some dice. I've got Saturn. Saturn keeps showing up in these piles. Saturn and Aquarius in the 3rd house. Okay, so Saturn, responsibility, rules, you know, kind of bang my hand on the table when I talk about Saturn. Responsibilities, all that human stuff in the sign of Aquarius. The fight the power, big picture, large groups of people, new ideas, new thoughts. Remember how I said that Pluto is across from, well, Pluto's in Aquarius and it's across from you. And then Uranus, the planet that rules Aquarius, along with Saturn, are making a square with some of you Leos. So basically what I'm getting is stash some cash, okay? Unexpected things. And if you get unexpected money, stash them. 3rd house. Gemini's house of communication. It's your local community. It's your environment. 3rd house is like when you step outside your front door and you meet your neighbors, and that neighbors are 3rd house, right? When you look at your 3rd house and you see what rules your 3rd house, that's how you show up in the world when you step outside your house, okay? That's an interesting spot to see in your chart. And so this is saying show up responsibly, reliably, but think big, Aquarius, okay? If you have something to communicate, maybe it's time, or maybe you'll review it over the Mercury retrograde. So let's give you some dates here based on these dice we've rolled. So we've got Saturn and Aquarius. So Saturn is the original ruler of Aquarius until Uranus was discovered. So we're going to look at both the signs Capricorn and Aquarius, and those land the first week of April. So you've got some power days, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, until early morning on the 5th, okay? Then we're going to look at Gemini. When do we have some activity going on with Gemini? Well, we know we have activity all month because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? Mercury's in its retrograde period. So you're going to want to pay attention to Mercury retrograde. Make sure you have a notebook out. Make sure you're journaling, okay? Everything that happened since March 18th is going to be revisited, reviewed, renewed, reassessed, reevaluated, released. What else? Any of those words. Okay, when is the moon in Gemini? The moon is in Gemini by 9 a.m. on Thursday the 11th through the 12th into the 13th right after lunch, okay? Power days for you, Leo. So have a fabulous month ahead.